a plastic bag supposedly got sucked into a furnace, and now the furnace is so loud that the neighbors complain. Why do we have a wet towel here? Yeah, I've never heard of this before. Yeah, I could see why your neighbors complain about that. That's flash on. I can't see with the camera, hopefully can. Good morning. It is Monday, January 15th. It's 7:15 in the morning. It's also Martin Luther King Jr. Day. But I am on my way to my first call of the morning. Just a customer that I was at a few months ago now, who needs parts for his Badaris. It's not firing, and for some reason he waited until now to approve of the parts. So I'm heading over there now with them, and hopefully that solves the issue. And here is our concentric venting on all three units. Okay, so here is the unit. See, I pulled that assembly out from the heat exchanger, and I'm just replacing the igniter. Okay, well, replace the igniter and also a plastic piece that's broken, and we need a new control board. So that stinks for him. Luckily, he has 2 boilers set up, so he still has heat and hot water. He's just concerned about not being able to use a snow melt system. But I'm gonna replace the anode rods on his titanium water heater. So I am draining out the tank now. I have my Milwaukee pump running. Just right into a floor drain. I already did the first anode. That's how bad it was. It's not awful, but time to replace. Okay, so I finished up there, replaced both his anode rods.
At the stop
he's gonna
sign,
see
turn
about
right
the
onto Pond Park
UVA
Road,
controller.
then turn left
It is a
onto
brand
Shore
new
Park
boiler.
Road.
It's only 2 years old. It's pretty crazy that the UVA went bad already. But I am headed on to the next, which is another Badaris. And I'm going to replace that UVA controller.
At the stop sign,
Mike already
turn right
replaced
onto
that.
Bayview Avenue.
However, it failed that night. The night of replacement. You got an emergency service call, and he went out there and fished the old UVA controller out of the garbage and put that one back in. So we got a new one now. I'm going to install that, and hopefully it works. Okay, so here's the old one, here's the new one. And oh wow, it's tight. It's a simple part swap. There we go. All of our connections in there. Meet up there. And I'll get this one tightened in. No ignition yet. There we go. Okay, so that was a simple in and out, because there's no charge. We replaced the part already before.
Turn right onto Clubhouse Road.
That one went bad, so see what happens with that one. They live around the
At
corner
the stop
from Mike,
sign,
so.
turn right onto Lakeside Drive.
But I am now headed to Laurelton for a no heat call, Queens. I don't recall ever being there, but it's hard to know now that we don't have our history of what was done there. We just have history of visits and the amount they paid because we switched over to House Call Pro. But hopefully something straightforward and I got something good to report. Yeah, this is a really bad situation. Steam boiler with a really bad wet return leak. The boiler is not installed properly, so the Hartford loop is lower than what it needs to be, below the sight glass. When you try to fill the boiler with water, it all immediately runs out of that wet return. It all runs into the floor. It's a finished basement, hardwood floors, finished walls. Don't know where the piping goes, so for a temporary fix, we're gonna try to see if we can do something to get the boiler to stay filled with water. Just because it's 20 degrees outside and their house can't freeze and it's an elderly lady. Big job. So I just spoke about it with Mike. We FaceTimed to show him. There's a chimney in the basement that we can't go through. We have to go around with a new wet return. I feel so bad for them, but is what it is. So here is our boiler, and to get it running for right now, I am not going to discuss what I had to do because it's an emergency and I don't think anybody should ever be doing this. This is a last ditch effort just so that their house doesn't freeze, not to give them comfort heating, just so it doesn't freeze until the repair can be made. But I did find our main line, the opposite side of the house where it ends and goes down. And we're leaking steam there as well. So that's another repair that's gonna have to be made. But our line has to come down the wall this way and then goes through the floor back to the unit. But these tiles are all cracked from water leaking under there. And we got all this water here. Opposite this would be where that pipe is, so yeah, it stinks. It's a big job. And this sewer's open, that way the water can drain, so it reeks so bad. But it is what it is. Let's see. Oh, there's the boiler. There's the other end of the basement. And it's gonna be a tough job to get a wet return line all the way through here. There's where it goes into the floor. Okay, so now I'm walking back to the truck. I have a call now in Atlantic Beach. I think it's at Atlantic Beach for a Burnham Series 2 not working. Who knows where it'll be, but I really feel bad. They're really nice people, and I believe they've been using Mike for like ever. It stinks, but you know, I guess it happens to everybody with the steam system. It's just really unfortunate. There's a lot of things going on that I told her we need to address after we make this major repair. Like a lot of old leaky radiator valves, a lot of old steam air vents. I was walking around seeing if the steam was coming up, and all these valves were like closed or partially closed, like they're using them to control it. But it is what it is for now. I'm glad that I could get them something at the time being, even though I'm not thrilled with what I had to do. But it's either that or freeze all the pipes. You know, it's what I did was safe. There is still a low water cutoff as an auto feeder to make sure that the boiler doesn't run out of water. And I did make sure that both are fully operational. It's just gonna continue to lose water as it runs. But heading on to the next. Hopefully it's something good. Okay, so it's a standard 80% efficient boiler, and we have no circulation, and now 1.14 amps. We had 0.9 amps before on the circulator, and you could see we're overheating. So there's issues, no circulation. I got a circulator already. I'm gonna put that in. Customer has watched Mike's videos, so that's how he found us. I'll get this done off camera. Drain the pressure out of the boiler. Got my circulator wrenches. And while doing that circulator, air vent was leaking water. Cheap Takeo air vent, we're gonna put in a Calefi. Okay, so system is running right now. Pressure is too high because the pressure reducing valve overfilled. It's overfilling. But the circulator is running. We're moving heat and pulling back cold water. And we replaced that air vent right there. And we'll just watch how everything runs. Okay, so just discussed everything with the customer. He's signing up for a maintenance plan for heating and air conditioning. We did our combustion tests. Results are hard to see because it's dark, but new circulator, new air vent. Pressure reducing valve's overfilling, but it's not leaking yet, so he's holding off on that. System is running well. And yes, I noticed that. Customer's fully aware of that. He's going to take it off and put aluminum tape on it himself. He knows. And then I put a label there as well. So, on to the next. Okay, so I finished up with that. Fairly straightforward. I am headed now to Valley Stream for a furnace. A plastic bag supposedly got sucked into a furnace. And now the furnace is so loud that the neighbors complain. That's what this call is dispatched out as, so we will see what happens there. This is going to be probably pretty interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of this before, so we're going to pull our cover off. And let's see. I don't see any plastic bag immediately. Let's see. Flash on. I can't see with the camera. Hopefully I can. Motor and the wheel unbalanced. Just want to make sure I got it all out of there. And it could cause a lot of... Okay, so I pulled out that plastic bag that killed the furnace. Let's see what happens. He just turned the thermostat on. I don't like this. Why is this here? It's soaking wet. Why do we have a wet towel here? That was what?
That was the ring stick.
Oh. Okay, just lit. Now let's see what happens to the flame when the blower kicks on. The inducer doesn't sound too healthy. And the flame's shooting up a little.
What's that? Once the blower kicks on.
Yeah. But I'm just watching everything. Yeah, I could see why your neighbors complain about that. That's loud.
Yeah, that only happened like after that.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to pull our blower and adjust the wheel, get it cleaned up, and hopefully we don't have to replace the motor. But yeah, let's see what we could get done. So I have no other option right now than to cut the wall because I can't get to the equipment. It wasn't installed right. There's not the access it needs. Cutting the wall. I told him I have to, and he said you gotta do what you gotta do. So it is what it is. And then I want to check this heat exchanger out before proceeding with like working on this blower. I want to make sure the heat exchanger is okay too. This unit was a little bit weird, but I did this a couple times with the camera before getting aggravated and just crawling in and looking at the heat exchanger, but everything looked 100%. Okay, blower's out. Filthy in there. Filthy in here. And there's our failure. Our motor mount sheared. And first things first, this needs to be cleaned. This is insane. This is the dirtiest motor I've ever seen. Okay, so I cleaned it off as best as possible within a reasonable amount of time. Unfortunately, being that it's 20 whatever degrees outside, I couldn't actually clean it off with a chemical and a hose, but it spins really nicely, quietly. And we'll see what happens. We'll get it slid back in and wired up. Okay, and the moment of truth. There's our loud inducer. Hot surface igniter is now glowing. Turn off my light. I'll make sure flame. Okay. So now, what I'm gonna do, even though I looked at the heat exchanger just to make sure that everything's okay, I want to keep this cover closed, that way it doesn't interfere with the flame. We got flame. Soon we'll get blower, and hopefully it's nice and quiet. Nothing yet. Come on. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna get a couple zip ties on that wiring, just to be on the safe side. So this all came out from that unit. Filthy, disgusting. Camera can't even focus, I'm joking. And now we're testing combustion to make sure that it's running safely, burning safely. That to finish and should be good to go. It's very slowly moving, but yeah, the heat exchanger seems to be totally okay, which is good. Just gotta make sure that it burns safely before I can leave here. I think this was all caused by this one little plastic bag getting sucked into the unit. There is no return air filter on this unit too, which is a bummer. But it is what it is. And look at that electrical switch. Just dangling there. No drip leg on the gas line. And I had to cut the wall out. This was a terrible, terrible install. Okay, it's pretty dark out, so I have the van light on so you can see me. 5:51 p.m. Finished up there.
Past the stop sign. Then at the next
The motor
one,
amped
turn
okay,
left.
but I told him that it's very likely that that's going to cause premature damage and it may need to be replaced at some point. But they don't look like they are very able on funds to
At the
afford
stop sign, turn
that.
left onto West
So,
Wheeler Avenue.
it is what it is. They paid cash, which was, it's always odd when people pay cash, but I am headed to a customer now in Roosevelt. I believe they're a new customer. And it's dispatched out as customer turned off water main to fix leak. Can't turn back on or something. So let's see what happens. If it's as easy as just opening up water main, then that'd be nuts. But we shall see. Okay, so by opening various parts and opening and closing this main valve, we confirm that this valve does work. We do get water pressure. However, we don't get water pressure past this valve. So what we're going to be doing is cutting in a new 3/4 inch ball valve. The homeowner is going to pick up a ball valve himself because he doesn't want to pay for ours. And that means that we won't have a guarantee on it, but we'll still install it. So I'm going to get ready so that once he gets here with the ball valve, I could just press it in and be done. Okay, so I disconnected our union here, and I cut our ball valve out, letting it all drain down into this bucket. That way we don't make a mess. Yeah, I can't even press in our ball valve. I just gotta wait here for this guy now, but he'll pay for the time accordingly. And hopefully that's it. Let's see if we open this up. We get water, so this valve's good, but you could see this one came apart in pieces. We got this piece here. We had these couple pieces of our old one inside of it, so make sure that nothing is in here. No, nothing's in there. And what else? Yeah, hopefully we don't have anything that shot up and blocked another line, but yeah, I'll get these cleaned off with scratch paper before I go ahead and press anything, and make sure to get nice good seals. And there we go, 31 minutes so far, and he was already back and we got the valve in. So pressed in a new valve. He got Viega pressurized, made sure there were no leaks at any of our union, most especially, but at any of our press fittings, and made sure to leave marks because Viega will guarantee this for life, even if we don't guarantee it, if there's marks and if it leaks, if it fails at the fitting. Yeah, nice Viega ball valve. So all done. We'll wrap it up here. Okay, so I finished up with that. It was aggravating that he didn't want to pay for the ball valve and he had to pick up his own, but it is what it is. We just don't guarantee it, and he saved a few dollars, whatever. I am headed home now. It's 7:15 p.m. I'm about 40 minutes away. Yeah, I'm working a little bit later because I told Mike I don't mind, because Mike's gone. He's in Florida, so it's just me and the other Mike doing calls. And I don't like knowing that customers have to wait for things. Like, I'm fine just getting home late, and then people have heat and hot water. Because like this customer that I just left, he wouldn't have had water at all for the next day or two if he was waiting on the other mic for a plumbing call, and because we're so booked. But hopefully you enjoyed watching the video. Like the video if you liked it. Comment any advice or criticisms or feedback, particularly about like recording my videos, because I've been doing a lot less recording the work and just showing you the work, because it's a lot easier to get work done that way. Because it's a lot to try to record while you're working. It just adds to the time, and that's time that the customer is going to get charged for. So it's unfair to them if I'm recording and that causes the job to take longer and they have to then pay more. So I'm trying to fit recording in better without like lengthening the jobs. Maybe I'll start using a GoPro, because I have one. Mike left one in the van he said I could use when he gave me this van. But yeah, hope you enjoyed watching, and subscribe. Thanks.